News 12 is brought to you by Kenneth Nugent. From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
The nation still reacting today to the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, and now some businesses are weighing in as well. But first up, one teenager arrested for the triple murder that happened this weekend. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office looking for 2 men in connection with that shooting. The Aiken County Sheriff's Office in charge of that investigation. We have Wrdw in the studio with us to tell us how the Sheriff's Office is taking action today.
Well, this is the scene of the Applebee drive where deputies say they showed up to find 3 victims who were shot. The Sheriff's Office says this is a senseless act of gun violence that's resulted in a tragic loss of life. The Sheriff's Office says when they showed up, 2 of the young men were pronounced dead on the scene. The 3rd juvenile was transported to the hospital where he later died from his injuries. The Sheriff's Office says it's a tragedy to see 2 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old involved in what they believe is gang violence. Now they've arrested 18-year-old Xavier Bailey in connection to the shooting. They're also looking for a 15-year-old and 20-year-old Alvin Artis. The Sheriff's Office says this impacts more than just the victims.
It is a true tragedy because, not only, we have victims that families that are left behind, but we also have families that are of these young men that are greatly impacted as well.
Coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're asking the Sheriff's Office what they're doing to connect with the youth in the community so we don't see any more of this senseless gun violence and see that trend continue.
Certainly a loss that will affect a lot of local families. Will, thank you. We're also learning more about a shooting that happened Friday night outside a Kroger in North Augusta on Knox Avenue. The incident report says the officers drove to that store off Knox around 11 at night and spoke to a couple of witnesses. They say they heard what sounded like fireworks behind the Kroger store. Another witness says they saw a dark gray SUV speeding away. When they walked around back, they found an 18-year-old who had been shot. So far, we know he's at University Medical Center, AU Health, for treatment. Details are limited, so if you know anything about that shooting, call the North Augusta Department of Public Safety. We have much more news ahead of it.
Risk heading into tomorrow in just about 10 minutes.
Riley, thank you. We're learning today a 15-month-old child passed away over the weekend at the Children's Hospital of Georgia after testing positive for fentanyl and other drugs. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department says they got a call from Children's Hospital after the test results came in here in Augusta. Officers say the child tested positive for opiates and a tranquilizer medicine. They're asking for anyone with information to call them and speak to Detective Cook over there in Athens-Clarke County. A Paulding County mom is arrested after 3 children died in a house fire last Friday night. Deputies say someone called 911 around 9:30 about a domestic disturbance in a house on fire on Woodwind Drive. Police say the mother, Pauline Brister, was trying to stab the children inside that home. A 9-month-old, a 3-year-old with multiple stab wounds. They were already dead when deputies arrived. And then a 5-year-old died later in a hospital from burn injuries. 4 children survived all this. Neighbors are shocked about it all.
Passing by every day, a very nice, quiet neighborhood. See kids playing outside.
Brister is charged with murder, but more charges are likely. The Georgia Fire Marshal's office is still investigating the fire. A Subway restaurant worker is dead and another person in the hospital after an incident over mayonnaise. Officers responding to a shots fired at a gas station off Northside Drive last night. This is Atlanta. The business owner says the customer got upset when the employee put too much mayo on the sandwich and shot the 2 employees. The Atlanta Police Department is investigating that case. While the nation grapples with the new landscape of abortion rights, so does the business community. Trinity Chavez reports on how companies are responding to the Supreme Court's reversal on abortion rights.
Protesters returned to the U.S. Supreme Court for a 4th straight day after the conservative majority sent the issue of abortion back to individual states.
Abortion right! Abortion right!
More than a dozen have so-called trigger laws in place to restrict or ban abortion since Roe v. Wade was overturned, with several more states expected to follow suit in the coming weeks. Mississippi, the state at the heart of the case that led to the Supreme Court's ruling that struck down Roe, certified its trigger law Monday, banning nearly all abortions in 10 days.
The thing that's going to keep me up at night is the women who will lose their lives because they don't have access to care.
But in Louisiana, a civil district court judge has already temporarily blocked the state's trigger laws from taking effect after providers sued. As a new legal fight begins, Democratic leaders believe the issue of abortion will become key for upcoming midterm elections for the U.S. Congress and at the state level.
We recognize this is just the beginning.
I think this is likely to all be litigated out, dealt with in the various states around the country through the democratic process.
Meanwhile, leaders in blue states like New York are preparing for a possible influx of women from states with restrictions.
They've been preparing on how do we build the infrastructure so we're here for those women who come into the city for looking for services.
16 Democratic states and Washington, D.C. have laws to protect abortion rights. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Washington.
Companies are still struggling to attract and retain employees, and Yelp says its stand on abortion rights has been a successful recruiting tool. Today is National HIV Testing Day in South Carolina, and health officials are encouraging people to get tested for the virus and other sexually transmitted diseases. DSC-DHEC says more than 19,000 South Carolinians are diagnosed with HIV these last couple of years. Some health officials say frequent testing detects diseases faster and starts treatment sooner to prevent new infections. DHEC's director of STD and HIV saying most people in the early stages of HIV infection have no symptoms, which makes routine testing a pivotal step in our fight against the spread of these diseases. Free testing will be offered at some DHEC locations today and tomorrow, and Augusta also holding its own HIV clinic. Free rapid HIV testing will be offered at several local Walgreens. It's through Project Impact of the Georgia East Central Public Health District. Testing will be at the following locations from now until 8. Well, keep an eye out for this change. Road crews are scheduled to install all-way stops near the Appling-Harlem exit today. Stop signs are going up at the two intersections where 221 meets at the I-20 ramps, making both intersections three-way stops. The purpose is to slow down that traffic through the interchange while making left turns a little easier for those drivers in a very busy area. To sports now, we're going to take you to Cross Creek for signing day, see where the latest Razorback is heading. Next with Nick.
And we are tracking a few very light showers out there for the rest of this evening, but a low flash flood risk heading into tomorrow. Update on the forecast next. Holiday weekend, July 4th, next Monday, high of 92.
Wow, the holiday is right on top of us here. Riley, thanks. It may be summertime, but we've still got some high school athletes signing to play at the next level, college sports. Sports Director Nick Proto at Cross Creek High School has the latest Razorback committed. Nick, what's the latest on that?
Well, Ahmad Hunt played a key role in leading Cross Creek to their second straight state championship earlier this year. Now he's putting pen to paper, committing to Bruton Parker College in Mount Vernon. Hunt's had quite the journey, playing at a few different schools before transferring to Cross Creek. He came off the bench for the Razorbacks, but his spark on both ends of the floor helped Cross Creek win the title. Hunt says he chose Bruton Parker because of the family atmosphere, which is something he looked for after finding it at Cross Creek.
I'm going to miss everybody from the players to the coaches. We had a great time on and off the court. We had a bumpy road. Nobody expected us to win state again, but those are my brothers, so that really chose me to come to Cross Creek.
We've got more high school hoops coming up on News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Nick, thanks very much. Just a moment, we're going to tell you how to land a side hustle if you've been finding yourselves watching your wallet.
Our professional grade.
Brittany Griner appearing in court in Russia today for a hearing ahead of her trial this Friday. The WNBA star has been in a Russian prison for more than 4 months now after being accused of smuggling significant amounts of a narcotic substance into that country. She's facing up to 10 years in prison. The U.S. State Department says she's been wrongfully detained, and her supporters argue her case is being used by Russia to put pressure on the U.S. during the war in Ukraine. How do you get by if everything costs you more money, but you're not making any more money? Gas, food, rent, all going up. Dawn G is here to share how you may be able to earn a little extra money outside your day job.
It's called a side hustle. Your 9 to 5 probably pays the bulk of your bills, but think what you could do or what else you could save for if you found a way to create another revenue stream by doing something that you love. With inflation still at a 40-year high, American families are experiencing financial strain on everything from gas to groceries to any other important expenses. According to new statistics released by data provider SEMrush, Many people are looking for a way to turn their hobbies into stone cold cash to bring a little extra money home. Morgan Overholt, a freelance graphic designer, is a true example of turning your passion projects into a paycheck. She turned her blog, thesmokies.com, into an income with a six-figure revenue.
We did not have a business plan. We didn't know what we were doing, right?
Overholt may not have had a business plan, but she had a desire to change her life and the persistence to stay with what she loved.
And I just thought, I was Field of Dreams it, you know? If you build it, they will come.
She built the blog smokies.com, and viewers did come. And they are still coming.
And we're kind of living proof that everything doesn't have to be perfect, and you certainly don't have to know everything that you're doing. You learn best by doing it.
Internet searches for guidance around how to turn that passion project into money have increased by 421% over the last 2 years. Overholt says now is the time to stop thinking about it and start doing it. Whatever you do, just get started.
I would say dedicate whatever your passion project is. Dedicate as much time as you can. Dedicate as much time as you have reasonably without driving yourself completely insane.
You don't have to quit your day job to get your hustle on. You just need a passion for something and a little bit of time to do the work to get it started. Once you take that first step, name your new adventure. Try to determine your target audience, your material cost, and your price point for products and services. Not even Rome was built in a day. It will take some time.
Or even if it's 1 hour a week, or 2 hours a week, or 3 hours a week, it doesn't matter. It might change the rate at which you grow, but you know what? You're going to see more progress there than if you just don't do anything. It took us 2 years to get 6 million page views.
Start a blog or a YouTube channel. Do freelance work. Pet sit, babysit, manage social media for small local businesses. The opportunities are endless. You just have to be creative and do the work. Helping you make ends meet, I'm Dawn G.
Lots of ideas to use your talents. Okay, parents of Paw Patrol fans, Paw Patrol Live is coming to Augusta in just a few months. Paw Patrol Live, the Great Pirate Adventure, will be at the Bell Auditorium September the 6th and the 7th, and you can buy those tickets starting this Friday. Tickets starting at $23. They're available online or the SRP box office or at the James Brown Arena. By the way, VIP tickets are also available. Paw Patrol coming. It's going to be big. You know it will. Well, the Evening at Applebee Garden concert series wraps up tomorrow night as Javon Jones takes the stage there in the garden. The Applebee concert series began on the first Tuesday of June. It's held events every Tuesday during this month. That concert begins at 8 p.m. at Applebee Branch Library on Walton Way. They say bring a chair, pack a picnic if you'd like. The event is free. It's open to the public.
Well, we are looking at some wet days ahead for the rest of the work week and even into the weekend forecast as well. So plan accordingly if you're trying to get out for your July 4th holiday. Have a look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
It's the summer. Maybe that completely.
Time to give some love to those shoes. Sneakerheads from across the country gathering in Atlanta this past weekend for what's considered the greatest sneaker show on earth, and check it out. SneakerCon, where fans can browse, shop, trade, sell, and win shoes. They saw roughly 8,000 people, 400 vendors. The managing director says profits were in the millions. Everybody loves their favorite pair, Riley. I just posted a shot of mine on Facebook earlier today. Some running shoes I've had for about a year, but each to his own, right? Each to his own.
Absolutely. Lots to choose there from our SneakerCon just down the road at I-20, and never heard of it. Lots to choose there from our SneakerCon just down the road at I-20, and never heard about that in Atlanta, but it looks like a pretty big event. Definitely a lot of people out there. Hey, looking over our medical district, we got some cloud cover, and luckily we don't have any tropical disturbances going to impact us here locally, but we are keeping an eye on potential tropical cyclone 2. This is approaching the Windward Islands, moving west-northwest at about 18 miles an hour. Just nice organized group of kind of clusters of showers and thunderstorms, but it is expected to become more organized over the next couple of days. Likely going to become a tropical storm tomorrow, and then later this week as it heads past the northern coast of Venezuela into the southern Caribbean. Once again, not impacting us, but could become a Category 1 hurricane as we head into Friday later this week. Our rain chances are going to be driven by this cold front. This is what's dropping south tonight. We are seeing a decent shower and thunderstorm activity forming along that front. Most of us have stayed mostly dry today, but as we continue into this evening, early tonight, cannot rule out that some of these showers and storms do hold together and provide us some rain relief later tonight. But for the most part, the real rain chances for us are going to hold out until tomorrow, all the way through our Tuesday and Wednesday. Pretty high rain chances across the area, so making sure you do have that rain gear ready to go as you head out the door early tomorrow. And then that pattern stays pretty steady most days this work week. Upper 80s by Thursday, so starting to get a little bit more heat back into the forecast later into the work week for our holiday weekend. So remember, July 4th is heading our way a week from today. Those temperatures will be seasonal, hitting 90 into the afternoon, but it looks like storm coverage Sunday to Monday will turn more isolated instead of scattered. But for the next several days, looking pretty good to see those storms, Richard.
Thanks very much. That's going to wrap things up for News 12 first at 5. Stay with us after the break. Laura Warren joins me here for News 12 at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.